My man, RK Glover, I got to tell you, we just wrapped up a boot camp and I thought, and you're no stranger to the podcast. I mean, we've built a friendship and hey, I'll tell everybody just kind of a real, um, kind of something most people may or may not know that you and I have been talking. We actually met earlier this year and you came out of a very large mortgage originating entity and you led teams of loan officers and just seeing great success. And we were talking about it because I was formulating the boot camp. This is back in February. I don't know, probably 7 months ago, 8 months ago. And 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 you said four things. You said math, skill, discipline, and I don't know. You said belief too, right? So it's math, skill,
Belief, yeah,
discipline,
math,
belief.
skill,
Yeah,
discipline,
yeah, yeah.
belief.
And so we talked about it on a previous podcast, but the way it came out was like, dude, I'm taking that. Like that's those are because it's the articulating if you had four pillars in your business. So for those of you who have heard me say that, RK and I that came out of a conversation because that's how he's led his teams. And
Hmm.
man, so there we go. That's where the pillars like how to articulate it in such a concise way came from my boy RK.
I said
So,
it,
but that's not
all
why I
the
got you
all
on the
the stuff.
podcast, though. Yeah,
No, that's what I say. All the stuff that I've learned from you, Steve, over the years in your podcast, please take that from me. It is my honor.
man. Hey, it's mutual, man. So it's every time we talk, it's a great conversation. And here's why I wanted us to jump on a podcast again is because what people may or may not know is that you literally started over. You left Ohio, where you were at in Cleveland, and you made a cross country journey to Scottsdale, Arizona. So you were managing teams of people and you made a
Right.
move not only to a different cross country, but you went from managing to now partnering and you guys are building something there, but you're also originating while you're building a
Yeah.
mortgage team in Scottsdale, Arizona. And you said, hey, I want to jump in your boot camp. And of course, I mean, we've been friends. It's the greatest honor for you to do that. And you know what was really cool was that you sent me a note this last week and you said, brother, you entered with zero loans in a new city, new company, everything brand new, and you're like we graduated through it, and it's been a couple of weeks. But brother, you got 8 loans in the pipeline for $3 million. And whenever I hear
Hmm.
somebody say, man, like what I love is you're probably one of the most remarkable implementers where it's like, dude, you've been in this space, you know the language, but to actually hit boots on the ground and start implementing at a high level and in just a few short weeks, brother, went from zero, new market, didn't know anybody, to 8 loans right now in the pipeline, scheduled to close, totaling over $3 million. I'm saying, let's talk. Let's talk. So,
Yeah, man.
dude, I love it. So let's hey tell people and I know I gave the background and we went if you want to go deep, I don't know, you'll have to find one of the previous episodes. I don't remember what episode it was, but we went deeper into it. But tell everybody you just quickly a little bit about yourself, how you got in the business, and then I got some great questions I want to ask you specifically that I think will help our listeners realize number one, it's possible, and number two, here's some things I can walk away with to help me take action now.
Yeah, definitely. And the joke is anytime we're talking, it goes on and on and on because we both like to, talk and bounce things off of each other. So I'm going to work
Yeah.
on being concise.
Ah,
So a little a little bit about me. I've been in the mortgage space for almost 15 years. I got, a couple grays in my beard here, but
hmm
I haven't been in not as many as you.
I got a lot more.
Um,
Don't-
but I haven't actually been an originator, like
yeah,
sitting doing the thing since 2014.
yeah.
So to a varying degree, I have been a leader at one of the nation's largest mortgage companies. And in what was it, March, I decided to make a major move in the career, move from that retail large lending space down to Scottsdale, Phoenix,
hmm
Arizona, to I can name drop my current brokerage, right? Kinfolk Home Loans. We're a mortgage broker down here. and just build a business. And part of building a business is, hey, I gotta sit in the money making chair here for a little bit,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
originates in addition to doing the leading and training and that type of stuff. I've had some incredible
Yeah.
partners and some incredible people that I work with here, and it was really st stressful, maybe that anxiety you kind of get in your chest, and
Oh,
it
for
took a
sure.
second to like make the jump, and it was like, you know what, I see my life going in this direction and finding massive success and stepping out of the comfort zone that I had been in for 13 years at my prior organization, and like, let's go. And nothing great ever happened without like taking a jump, taking a risk, and believing
Mm.
in yourself. And part of believing, I think, in yourself is finding great partners to work with. Everybody is like, "Oh, I did it on my own. I'm self-made." No, you're not. You had great partners. You had great people that impacted
Hmm.
you. And I've got some incredible partners here in the business. And I had listened to you and your podcast for years to help run my group at my prior lender. And I was like, man, that would be kind of silly for me to not reach out for help and support, especially because I haven't sat in the originator chair like
Yeah.
running a business. So that's when I reached out to you, and finding somebody to help and support along with the folks here was so important, especially going through. We had a bit of a health challenge the day. So I fly down here with my wife to Arizona. We finally make the deal, sign the contract, sign our lease, get everything squared away. The day after we get back to Ohio, our daughter didn't look so well. She's 2.5 years old. Her name is Viviana. She We took her into the emergency room. One thing led to another. She was diagnosed with cancer. So that was another thing that we had to navigate as we're making this enormous life change, and having the right people to support personally, having the right people to support business, having the right people to support mentorship wise. Like, that was so important to help me get through and our family get through what was the most challenging, without a question, time in our life. Now we're still in the thick of things, but we've got our feet under us, and we have a path that we're walking down. So I hope that was concise
Dude,
enough,
that's
but
amazing.
that's a little bit about me and where we are, and we're really excited to be down here in Scottsdale, building an awesome business with awesome people.
Yeah. Hey, and it kind of goes to one of the first things that I really believe this. A big part of success is when your why is so big, it's like, dude, there's no option. There's no plan B. We've man, there's such a courageousness to what you're walking through. And I think that as originators, because one of the things I want to talk to you about is you like what you started with zero and what'd you do to build the pipeline. We're going to get there. But I think this is a missing piece for most people is that your why has got to be so big, RK, that that the pain of discomfort or the pain of doing the uncomfortable is less painful than what you would have if you didn't take the step. And it's like because
Right.
we can want
Mhm.
it, but you got to have more than a want. There's got to be I call it this all the time, man. It's got to be a very decisioned resolve to where it's like, dude, there's no plan B. It's kind of like what Stefan, my wife and I always talk about. There's no way out. There's only a way through this bad boy. And I tell you,
Mhm.
your life stance is a little bit different. It's not like, ooh, I hope this thing works out. It's like, no, no, no. We're gonna make it work out quicker because there's no
There,
plan B,
there is
baby.
no there is no hope in, like you say, life stance. I thought about, like, I was an athlete, a
Yeah.
washed up athlete these days. I still look pretty good though. But like
Dude,
your
you look
stance,
great.
like you think of like an athletic stance.
Oh
Like
yeah.
sometimes, you're sitting back and you're like, okay, no, this is a time where it's like, I already left.
Yeah.
I already signed the papers. We're already moving.
Yeah.
This is like you're in like the athletic stance, like lean forward, back is
Oh yeah.
straight. You're like, there
Yeah.
is literally no plan
That's
B.
right.
So we make this work, or we make this work. That this is
That's
going to
it.
work.
That's it. Hey, and that's where you have to be at. And tell us about this. So you start with zero loans in the pipeline. What are some of the actions? Hey, and I remember our group. You remember what was it? It was something zero. It was a joke about zero.
Oh,
Club Zero, Club
what was
Zero. It
Club
was.
Zeros? Yeah,
Ain't no more Club
Club
Zeros.
Zero.
And hey, but it goes back to this. What are some of the key actions you took, man, the first few weeks? What did you do or what actions did you take that led to building momentum?
Man, so a couple of things. I have like four takeaways. I was thinking, just as I know we were going to hop on here today, I was like, what are like the four most impactful things that like occurred throughout this boot camp that I implemented?
Yeah.
And I think you start with the belief of this is not magic.
Mm,
There are so many people that are finding success in whatever market. Like it's not magic. There is a which is where you come in your process. There is a simple, quote unquote, simple.
yeah,
It's easier said than done, but there is a process where
that's right.
other people have found success. And if I follow that, it's not magic. Like it's not
Mm,
like this person magically was able to write loans. It was like, no, you follow these things and you do it. So number one, believing that it's not magic and following a clear, like we want to provide our clients a clear mortgage plan, right? That's what we
mhm,
want to do to
mhm,
create a
mhm.
repeatable, referable process. Yep. Now we're the also people. We need a clear plan to find our own success.
Yeah.
So what is that clear plan?
Mm,
Um, Number two, I tell you what, tactically, so it's like philosophical, tactically frog.
yeah. Talk about
This
that. So
this
like what do you mean by frog?
So frog, so it's under how to have a designed conversation with specifically real estate agents. But I tell you what, Steve,
Mm,
I took that frog and I took that to people here in the office,
yeah.
people I meet outside. Like I'm meeting new people literally every single day. I'm going out to like events, and you never know who you're going to come across. And I'm
Yeah.
taking that conversation, how we frog agents. That sounds so bad, like I'm frogging this agent, but it's not. It's awesome. But I took that like those principles, and like in all of the conversations that I would have, I would use those exact same principles. And it really kept me in line. Like we were talking about, we can talk to people forever. Like I can
Sure,
communicate and
sure,
talk and
sure.
like, but sometimes there's not like a direction. It's just like we're kind of
Mm.
talking and like we're
Hey,
talking
you
and
know
they're
the
like,
word for that
where?
is? Hey, it's a framework. And that's something
Yep,
like when you learn that look, it goes back and I love it, bro. You helped me with math skill, discipline, belief, and it goes back to conversions a skill. And it
yep,
like if people don't think every conversation doesn't have a framework or a desired result, that's it's not accurate. You may not be executing it, but when you're
right.
intentional with here's how we have conversations, here's how we're able to help lead people to a desired result in a very cool way. That's a framework. That's a skill that can easily be taught. But you know what it is, RK? Most of us have never seen it. We didn't know. Nobody taught us.
Yeah,
It's like intuitively we're good, but then when you start building the framework and you're like, dude, there's four real simple things you can do in almost every conversation to lead them to a desired result. It's like that.
yeah.
What?
Well, so I think here's where the magic comes in. So like on the telephone with the clients, like
Yeah.
I channeled my inner like 2014, like when I was on the phone with clients all the
Yeah.
time. But then I also had a framework of, when I jumped in on my brokers and my bankers conversations, doing a mid call or helping them with the resell or whatever. I had a framework of what I wanted to do and my outcome of this call. I know this is where I was going to start.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the middle part. I had that, but I didn't have that with real estate agents or even really like talking to new people. And I
Yeah.
think where the magic comes in both, whether it's on call, working on sales conversion, or like meeting new people, you have the framework, you've got the points, and you have like the design and the direction of where you want the conversation to go. So,
Mm,
like, that's that. But if you have those conversations so often, it almost can get robotic. So
yeah.
you've got to have like the same framework. Like here are the questions, here's the framework, but then you also have to make the person you're talking with feel like this is the first time you've ever had this
That's it.
conversation and bring
Yeah.
in like significant authenticity,
Yeah.
which comes through actually listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
The framework comes in like this is like your first It's like, all right, pillar, 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 pillar. These are the four things I've
Yeah.
got to get
Yeah.
through in this allotted amount of time.
That's
But
right.
that's just the starting point. That's the
Right.
jump off. Where
Yeah.
the magic comes in is like, okay, you get that pillar, and then you ask two, three, four actual relevant questions based on what they say. And then you have your transitional statement, which works perfectly
Yeah.
to your next pillar. But it's the person you're on the phone with has to feel like it's the very first time you've ever had this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Hey, and
you've
you know
had
what that is though?
the
It's a
same
skill.
conversation 100 different times.
Yeah, well, but that's the skill of it. And you know what really helps you too in it is when you got a framework. I think your conversations are actually better because you know
They
where
are.
people stop listening, RK? It's when they're trying to think about my next question. I'm trying to
Yep.
think about my next statement. I'm trying to think about this versus if you got a process and you got a framework,
Yep.
I'm actually very relaxed because when we put a period at that conversation, I'm just going to transition it to the next one. And so it's
Exactly.
yeah, I think it actually helps you become a better active listener. So I love it. So,
Absolutely. So
dude, that's huge.
that's
Okay.
the second one.
Yeah.
Third thing is the Just Ask
Oh,
Tuesdays.
yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
like this is where
The
significant
magic.
amount of relationships have come from. Sure, a lot of it was, hey, here are my agents. I'm gonna just like cold call them. I don't love that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
love that. It's necessary. You got
Yeah.
to do it. But if I'm like, who would I more enjoy to call? Cold call, Stevie Schwartz from this Excel list, or call the people I already like got in process or that I
Mhm.
met at I'm gonna go to them if I'm like, hey, who would I rather call? So really executing on the Just Ask Tuesdays, um, with everybody on the loan file and literally just asking like
Yeah.
over and over and
Yeah.
over. And
Yeah.
it's almost like, I think Carl used to say it, like ask in a cool way. Like it doesn't have to be like
Hmm.
weird.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you are holding up your end of the bargain, like they appreciate, the real estate agents will appreciate that, but also the clients
Yeah.
appreciate that. I literally had somebody tell me just yesterday, no, not yesterday. It was 2 days ago, whatever, it was Tuesday. And he was like, "Hey, like, what you need?" I was like, I don't need anything. He's like, and this is a client. He's like, I have never had a mortgage person just call me to just like give me an
Yeah.
update and they don't need anything from me. That is fantastic. So clients really appreciate that. So like tactically leaning into just ask. And
Yeah.
then last thing is
Hey, hold on.
so
Let me
those are
say
two
one thing. I heard
tactics. Oh,
a
go ahead.
friend of mine this last week, Tanya. We were talking, and she said it this way because when people hear "just ask," it's like, oh, it's uncool, and I don't want to be weird and salesy and pushy and all that. She said it like this. She calls it her soft, gentle ask, and I'm like, yes, I don't care what you call it. It's not a hard ask, but it's a
It's
skill
not.
learning how to do it, because what we do is we think, oh, they know who I am, they know what I do. But the reality is there's a power in the ask. And people want to feel good about themselves. And when they give you a referral, they're like, man, I did something good today.
Yeah.
And so but we go through that, man. It's we have to push past the past experiences and that sales is salesy. We're not salesy. We're tactical that have learned some real skills that convert at a high level. And that's really what real business people do. It's what pros do, man. So, okay.
What
All
I
right. Go
what
ahead.
I feel like, well, let's just on that, like what I feel people like genuinely want to help people. So the way that I position a lot of the asks is like I'm building my business. Like
That's it.
I'm building us. We don't have a large marketing budget. Like Mr. Client, like the way that I build my business is delivering awesome service, obviously getting
Mm,
your loan closed
mm,
on time and on budget with world-class service. But really my ultimate goal, like through this transaction, Mr. Client, Mr. Agent, is to provide such an incredible experience and such an incredible product that you feel compelled to share your
mm.
information with a
My
friend, family
man.
member, coworker.
My
That I'll
man.
anchor that on my first call. with clients, and then I'll reference that. Like, that's my anchor initially. Like, this is my outcome here, is not only to close on time, on budget, with world-class service, but to provide you such an experience that you feel compelled to share my information with a friend, family member, a coworker. That is how I build my business. Like, boom, anchor to begin with.
Dude, I
And
love
then
that.
on my just asks, I'm
Mhm.
circling back to that. Like, hey, remember, I gotta say it. Like, listen, is there anybody that you know that you've talked to in the past week that might be looking to buy, sell, or refinance? I've loved working with you. However you want to position that, but you take pride in the fact that I'm building a business, and the way that I build my business is through doing all of these awesome things for you, so that you're feeling compelled to share the good word and the good news of, hey, if you need something real estate done, like this is your guy.
Dude, I love it. Dude, it's powerful. And I love the visual of an anchor because there's nothing uncool about what you just said. What I heard was a lot of passion. I heard a lot of
Yeah.
intentionality. I heard a lot of I've got a high expectation to produce at a high level and not perform, but deliver at a high level.
Mhm.
And when I do and as I do, I'm asking for you to not keep me a secret, for you to be able to relationally refer people back to me. So dude, I love it. Okay, what's number
Absolutely.
4?
Last thing, number four, specifically with the real estate agents, with clients, I pride myself as being like a high converter. Like, if I've got a qualified client, like, I'll be darned if we're not going to be doing business together. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But with real estate agents, there's a lot of no's that you get. You get a lot of like, no, and you're
Yeah.
like, uh, that doesn't feel good. You don't feel good about that. But you talked about, not everybody is going to be a part of your tribe, and that's okay.
Mhm.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Don't try to be everybody to everyone.
Mhm.
Know who you are, and then know who you want to be a part of your tribe, and don't change yourself to try to be somebody, because the strongest people, like, if I am so confident in who I am and who I'm looking for, those people are going to attract. And,
Yeah.
like, maybe it's only one in five. Maybe that's,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So you got four folks that you're going to talk to that, for whatever reason, is not part of your tribe, like, comma, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So getting that, and like, okay, my next call, I'm just looking for people that are going to be in my tribe, and there's going to be some folks that are not, and you're going to get some rejection, and that is okay. So just find like the 20% of folks that are in your tribe, and you're going to get, I promise you, more than 80% or 80% of them saying, nope, not happening, and for whatever reason, and that's all right. Find your tribe. So those are the
I
four things.
Dude, that's it. I love it. Hey, I mean, what a great advice from somebody who has literally started from zero and seeing big success. You're doing the work, you're leaning in, you're a phenomenal leader, a great friend. And hey, do this for me. Give me for what advice would you give anyone who's listening today who's either starting over or facing a challenge in their business or just says, man, like just to that listener, um, what would you say? Somebody who just says, "Man, I'm starting over. I may have been a long time loan officer. I've been in the business a long time. I really have hit rock
Mhm.
bottom. I'm at zero, or I'm only closing a couple. I used to close 12 to 15." Somebody who needs to be encouraged. What advice would you give them?
Um, a lot of, along with the four things that I just said, the first thing that came to my mind when you were kind of framing the question was, you're exactly where God wants you to be right now, even
Mm,
if in that moment it doesn't feel like it. Whatever that means to you, whether it's a tough personal situation, a tough business situation, a new experience, starting from zero, or all of the above, like I decided to do all at the same time. You're exactly where God wants you to be, even if in the moment it doesn't feel like it, right? You take every day at a time, and if you're having tough days, there's kind of two ways to look at it. Like, not every day is going to be a good day, but there are good moments within each day that you latch on to and allow that to propel you to the next day. And then, you maybe have a good day, right? Or you might have some bad things happen within the day, but just because a bad thing happened in your day doesn't mean the whole day is bad. So those are like philosophical
Dude, I love
things
that. Yeah.
that I think that it's important to get your head wrapped around, and then just do like get a support team. Like that's how we started it here. Like find your support team. Like who is your tribe, family tribe, work tribe. Reach out to, people you listen to on a podcast and say, "Hey, I'm here." And
Like we did.
maybe right, like maybe people like,
Uh,
Steve, like, who is Steve in your life? And if you want Steve to be
mm,
in your life, click on the boot camp and jump into Steve's life. But like find your support system that's going to help move you forward so you have a clear path in your business to move your business forwards. And we got a little tailwind with some interest rates moving in the right direction. So
yeah,
that's also positive.
that's
So there are a
huge.
few things there to latch on to.
Hey man, I'm grateful to call you friend and excited to see the massive results that you're getting. And you're a dynamic leader, dude. This and you're only 8 to 12 weeks into a brand new market, maybe a little bit longer now. But dude, I'm just sitting here
Like
saying,
12 or so.
whoa, dude, it's a rocket ship, baby. So I'm excited, man. Great to have you. Thank you for jumping on the podcast, sharing the things that have helped you the most. Literally start over to having massive success. So well done, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you've been a big part of my success in a prior life, and you're continuing to be an even more impactful part of my success as I move into this new life. And Steve Kyle's footprint is going to be all over Kinfolk Home Loans down here in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona. And I just can't thank you enough, my friend.
Hey, it's an honor, man. We are truly better together. Man, I absolutely love what RK said, man. And whenever I think about the success of what he's been able to do in just a handful of weeks. I think we did the 8 week boot camp. He's actually 12 weeks past the day we started. So he's got another month behind it. And to be able to go from, zero in a brand new market and now have 8 loans closing that are scheduled over $3 million. Look, you know what I kept hearing? If he can do it, you can do it. If he can do it, you can do it. Whether you're starting at zero or whether you're starting at 12, 15, 20, 30 loans a month, I genuinely believe that when you understand the math, you develop the skill, you lean into the discipline and accountability, you begin to believe at a different level, not only it's possible, but that I can do this. And more doesn't mean more hours or more time. And so, hey, if you want to explore what a boot camp could do for you, I've got one starting here this next week, and there's a handful of spots left. Feel free, jump in. Go to loanofficersuccess.com, loanofficersuccess.com. And what you'll do is just fill out a couple of pieces of information. And then myself or Jennifer will reach right out to you and see if the boot camp is good for you, if it's the right fit, if we really believe we can help you close even more loans and without working more hours. And so just want to encourage you. I love what RK was talking about, regardless of how dark a day you may be walking through. Just know this, that there is a bright spot and there is the opportunity to take control of your business and to begin to walk out the potential of what God's called you to do. And so go to loanofficersuccess.com, loanofficersuccess.com. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside. See you.